everybody. The North Carolina annual harvest of southern flounder has decreased by 3.5 million pounds in recent years. This is due to the nearly 13,000 miles of gill nets placed in North Carolina every year. That's enough to reach halfway around the world. According to the North Carolina Environmental Quality, North Carolina is one of the top 10 seafood producing states in the nation. So chances are that you have eaten or you will eat seafood sourced from North Carolina. I've researched many expert sources, attended fishing expos, fishing conventions, and many different things. I've also been fishing in North Carolina waters since I was 3 years old, and I've seen the firsthand effects of gill netting in the area. Gill nets can destroy ecosystems, and North Carolina needs to enforce stricter regulations or a ban in order to allow their marine fisheries to rebound and to thrive. I'm going to cover how a gill net works, why North Carolina would be better without them, and a solution to the problem. Specifically, there are two types of gill nets used to capture the fish that swim through them. So the two types, there's large mesh and small mesh. And NOAA, the National Oceanic and Aquatic Agency, describes it as it's meant for the head of the fish to go in, but not the body. So when the fish goes in, then it tries to back out like it can't. So it'd be like, if this is like the hole, it's meant for the head to go through, and then like it gets stuck. So then like when it backs out, like the net grabs onto the gill, and so then it struggles and it ends up dying in the net. There's also, along with the large and small gill nets, there's set gill nets, which attach to poles or like an anchor system. So you set them and they stay there. There's also drift gill nets, which are kept afloat using weights and buoys. So like a drift gill net, you could like attach to a boat and kind of drag along with you. So the gill nets have a large amount of bycatch. So on the other hand, if North Carolina had no gill nets, you'd see an increase in the marine fisheries, like in the amount of fish like in the area, and also you'd see a ripple effect into like aspects of tourism and stuff like that. So like I said, it would not only improve marine fisheries along the coast, but it would also bring in more tourists because it'd bring in fishing. The North Carolina Wildlife Commission has many limitations set for rod and reel fishermen. So like that's what I do. Like I fish with a rod and reel. So like right now, I wouldn't be allowed to catch like any flounder, for example, or I could catch 4 trout a day. But for a gill netter, you can set the net down and you can catch 400 flounder and then 3 sea turtles and pull it up, and it doesn't matter because it's the bycatch, and like there's nothing you can control about it. So without the gill nets, an improved fishery would ripple into effects of tourism. So like if you look at Florida, obviously fishing in Florida is insane, and it brings in different businesses, amusement parks, restaurants. So Florida's awesome. Like everyone wants to go and retire there because it's just the beaches are nice, there's good fishing, like all that kind of stuff. Also, gill nets not only affect fish that swim through them, but they can also affect turtles, whales, birds, dolphins, anything that swims into them. Also, the North Carolina gill nets are affecting other states. So the Virginian pilot states that Virginia anglers are starting to see effects from the North Carolina nets because fish migrate like based off the season and stuff and move up and down the coast. So Virginian anglers are also seeing the effects of the North Carolina nets. Nevertheless, though, people do rely on gill netting for an income. So even though a good solution would be to ban it, you still have to understand that people rely on this for income. And so with that, the state could implement different programs or different jobs for these gill netters. So if a ban was put in place, so they wouldn't just be completely out of a job and out of income to be able to support themselves. Genesis 1:28 reads, "And God blessed them and said to them, Be fruitful, multiply, and fill the earth, and subdue it, and have dominion over the fish of the sea, and over the birds of the heavens, and over every living thing that moves on earth." So this goes in to say that God values animal life as well as human life, and although animal life is seen lesser than us. To sum things up, North Carolina needs to seriously look into the effects of gill netting and look into what could happen if there was a ban and the improvements that could happen on the state. Gill nets can destroy ecosystems, and North Carolina needs to enforce stricter regulations or a ban to allow marine fisheries to rebound and thrive. So I went over how the nets work, what North Carolina would look like without them, and a simple solution to the problem. And nobody likes to see the pictures of like a cute turtle. Like if you ever seen like Nemo, Crush from Nemo, like the big dude, you don't like to see them all wrapped up in a gill net and dead. It's just It's not what you want to see, and we need to value animal life as God stated in Genesis 1:28. And I'm not saying this to say that we need to not harvest fish and not like don't eat seafood and become vegan, because that's nuts. Meat's good and it's all good. However, in a growing and changing world, North Carolina just needs to understand the effects of gill netting and use different techniques to harvest marine life.